All right, everyone, are you ready for fight night? Because we definitely are. I got the biggest snake eyes over here ready to go over the top UFC contenders that we have for the event this Saturday night coming up for UFC. Dave, I want to touch on this card real quick. There's 5 fights going on. I know that you were saying something about the first 3, and you wanted to touch on them, so I'll open the floor to you.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of the guys on the bottom part of the card, I haven't personally seen too many of their fights, and I know that on the first few fight nights we did a couple of predictions, and we did all right. We did really well on some of those predictions. We're gonna hold off though this time around on predicting on some of these guys because I haven't seen enough. I don't want to give you guys something that I don't have any sort of real big research on these guys. A lot of these guys are tough. And they go in there and will win a fight or steal a fight on being heavy underdogs. I mean, we saw that happen just recently with Brunson. Brunson took out Shabayan, which is Ronda Rousey's guy, who was undefeated. He was really on. I love this tweet that went out that said "Hype train derailed," and I apologize because I don't remember the specific fighter that posted it. But there was a fighter, and it said "Hype train delayed," and it's true. I feel like UFC promotes these big time guys and really straps a rocket to their back and says, "This is the top guy." And the fight game. I'm sorry, one right hook, one left hook will put you right on your butt, and that hype train gets delayed.
It changes quicker than a tick in a New York minute, right?
It does.
Little fabulous quote out there for our rapper fans. So by skipping the first 3 events or first 3 fights, we're gonna go to the co-main event. And in the co-main event, we have Omari, who's 24-1, versus Chris Weidman, the local hometown hero for me out here in Long Island. I'm a Freeport boy, but Weidman is out here in Baldwin, so I have a partial rooting interest for my man Weidman. Everyone will remember Weidman for what happened with Chris Silva or Anderson Silva, I should say, when he broke his leg on a block. That was the most gruesome injury I've ever seen.
Yeah, just a leg check, and it was definitely brutal. I'll tell you one thing. Listen, I will quote Weidman in saying the man is 1-5. I need a freaking win. That is verbatim coming from the horse's mouth. And listen, I like Weidman. He's just a good guy all around. Dude's like super humble. Not Baldwin people weren't necessarily the greatest of Freeport people, but I'll tell you, at the end of the day, obviously we're Long Islanders, right? Brooklyn boys, too, all New Yorkers in general. One big family. So I got nothing but support and mad love for Weidman, and I'd love to see him get a win. He's 36. I also think I saw something on there where he was saying about maybe not necessarily wanting to go deep into his 40s. So really, if you're talking about 36, 4-year run, if he's really going up to that age, he needs to get a win, because if he doesn't get a win here, I don't know how much further below the top rank he can go before he really gets out of the picture, and maybe UFC even just doesn't give him a fight or drops him. With that being said, I think Chris Weidman's going to lose. I think it's going to be a tough. Listen, I'm just being realistic. He's gotten dropped in these last 2 fights very badly, very quickly. Did he fight the top guys though? He fought Reyes, and Reyes, I mean, he brought it to John Jones, right? So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe because Weidman saying he's in the best shape. He's saying he's ready to go. When you need a win, a lot of these guys, when you need a win,
he's fighting out of desperation.
You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. After having said that, I want Weidman to win so much. I'm just gonna switch my pick live right here, and I'm gonna go with Weidman. It's because of how much I want to see him win. So my heart is really dictating that I want to see him win so badly that I'm going to switch my pick to him.
So now here's the question.
Yeah,
I know that you're betting with your heart here, and I know that your head is going with Omari because you've seen Weidman get beat recently, and recent memory for Weidman hasn't been too kind.
Yeah, it hasn't.
And we're leaning back toward some of his glory days and hoping that he can rekindle the flame of his stardom. But my question to you is this: what percentage are you really giving him to win this fight? Even though I know you're gonna put your money on him because he is the underdog, you'll probably get good money on him. And if you can keep it halfway close, you might be able to make your money back or double up. But what's your real percentage of him just outright winning this fight?
Well, as you can tell, I mean, I switched my pick live, right? Yeah. So I mentally don't have it at over 50%. I mean, again, I may be going with the underdog here. Sure. In my eyes, I think Weidman's going to have a tough uphill battle when we're talking about physicality. Right. But with that being said, though, I don't want to diminish Weidman's game. Obviously, former middleweight champion. Mm-hmm. The guy's got the skill set. Sometimes when you get on these losing streaks, it breathes fire into you. And every time he's gone in there, I mean, he's been determined to go out and win. And, his heart's been in it. And he's really fought some tough challengers. Reyes got the title fight not too I believe it is maybe one fight after him, or if not the fight right after him. So mm-hmm. I will tell you that although in my eyes he's the underdog, I don't know if in the books yet he's the underdog. I haven't really looked on William Hill. I really would like to see Weidman take that W, and I'm going to go with Weidman. I'm going to switch my pick and go Weidman.
All right, so you heard it here first. The Vegas Snake Eyes has an upset victory for Chris Weidman, coming back heavy, saying, I'm going to fight till 40, and I'm going to keep my streak. I'm going to end this losing streak and start a brand new winning streak. I like it. Right. I like it. And
that's then gotta get that Long Island homie with the W.
B-Town. All right. So now we have the main event. It's a heavyweight fight between Derek Lewis and Oleinik. We have Lewis, who's at 23-7-0 versus 59-13-1. Oleinik, just for reference, is 43 years old with a record of 59-13, which to me is amazing to be in so many fights. And Lewis really isn't that young. He's at 35. Height and reach wise, they're virtually the same. Both at 6'2", reach 79 inches for Lewis, reach 80 inches for Oleinik. Oleinik, though, does give up 20 pounds to Lewis. Lewis is at 260. Oleinik is 240. What are you thinking here, Vegas Snake Eyes? What do you got?
So here's the thing, man. If anybody is a big MMA fan as I am, you love Lewis. His personality, his character. Just go out and watch on YouTube some of his highlights for just comedy relief. I'm not even talking about knockout power. I'm talking about just comedy. The man's obviously got the talent and the gift of gab for being really a funny, person. A side note, again, another good guy, good human being. Oleinik too. Oleinik is a good guy. He's been in the game a long time. Here's the thing about this matchup, right? Lewis is like Ngannou. You get in his way. I mean, knockout power is insane. Mm-hmm. I have Derek Lewis hands down in this one with knockout power. Ooh. But here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Oleinik has the choke of I don't even know how to describe it. This guy
he's like a boa constrictor.
He has put people in triangles. Not in triangles, but just basically a choke right from the top, not necessarily even going down to the ground, and he's submitted guys. So if Lewis gets too close, if Lewis gets down on the ground, it gets taken down by Oleinik. Watch out! This could be, a quick fight out and in a hurry, and Oleinik could get another one of those sleeper wins. But I'm going to go all out here on that. I think Lewis is too prepared for that. I think Lewis is going to come out swinging right off the bat because he knows he can get submitted pretty quickly. So I'm going to go with Lewis heavily on this one, and he needs that win. He needs that win to stay in that in that top tier title contention. Because really, what's going to happen is Stipe and DC are going to fight. If DC wins that fight, he most likely retires. Most likely. He doesn't want to fight Ngannou. He doesn't want to fight some of these guys. That's just my opinion.
So you think if DC loses, he's going to stay in, but if he wins, he's going to retire on top?
I think either way, DC retires. This is my personal opinion. I think either way he retires. I think he wanted to get this fight back. You know, his only losses were to John, right? So he wanted to really avenge his loss in this with Stipe.
Plus, isn't it set up now where he's doing a lot of commentary and announcing for UFC?
He's been doing that DC's been doing commentating for a while now. I think
he's pretty much already got his next career lined up, kind of like how CC Sabathia did, where pretty much these guys are now just fighting for legacy, fighting just because they are all-time greats. Just wanted to cement a couple of extra chips on there. And,
I like DC, but I like Stipe better. And if we're focusing on where Derek Lewis is going to land on after this win, I think it's going to keep him in that conversation of the top tier guys. If he loses to Oleinik, a 43-year-old guy who, again, he's looked very sluggish on a couple of fights and he's gotten those squeezes in and have pulled out victories. Derek Lewis needs to go out there, not play around, not toy around, stay in the top contention, finish this guy real quick. And then Stipe DC, if that happens, if Stipe wins, Ngannou's next, and then Derek Lewis most likely jumps back into that conversation of another title fight. Because if we remember, Derek fought DC, and it was, oh gosh, it was DC just, I mean, he made that so easy and so quick, and he got him out of there real fast. So I think Derek Lewis has grown from that fight. It was kind of embarrassing to see him lose that bad, because I think I was excited to see what he would do. DC really out wrestled him and took him to the ground, and it was over. So that's my opinion.
Sure. And then I guess as the final curveball here, you told me that Lewis, if he wins this, he's next in line after Ngannou.
Not next, but
after Ngannou, right?
He might need one more fight, because Lewis, I believe he beat Ngannou in like this little chess match that was a horrible match.
Here's my question then: Ngannou is the next guy up, right? He's gonna get the winner of DC versus Stipe, right?
Hands down, you have to.
And we're gonna play a little future teller in these final couple seconds. All right, so we know that Dave likes Stipe over DC. We know that he's a Stipe fan. If Stipe's facing Ngannou, who you got?
If what?
If Stipe's facing Ngannou, who do you got?
So Stipe's already beat him once. Mm-hmm. So if Stipe said he doesn't care, right? Stipe said he's the best heavyweight champ of all time, and especially having already beat DC once, mm-hmm. I think he beats him again. Mm-hmm. And really solidifies that role. He defended the title, I think it was 4 times, which is the most in UFC history. Mm-hmm. If he gets a second win over DC, you solidify that spot for him. And then if you give him Ngannou again, he really outclassed Ngannou. He really wrestled him and took him to the ground. Wasn't why would you go toe to toe with Ngannou? Mm-hmm. It's just dumb to do that. You're gonna sit there and drop bombs at each other. You're gonna get knocked out. So I like Stipe all day. He's just a much better fighter all around. I mean, he's just he outmaneuvered, strategically beat him all around. So end of the story for me. Derek Lewis wins. Oleinik beats him. Probably stays in that top 3, top 4 conversation. Probably needs maybe one more. Or just if Ngannou fights Stipe, or if DC maybe wants one more fight, then you put him after that. So we'll see, man. I think this is an important fight for Lewis, and he needs to come out. It's an important fight for Lewis and an important fight for Weidman. You got two big, the co-main and main being guys that need big wins here to stay in the conversation and really stay in the in the limelight.
And one thing that I do like about the that particular fight that we have, the heavyweight main event there, is that the next fight, like you said, is Stipe versus DC. And that's another heavyweight event. So you're really going to see the heavyweight division play out in front of you with some of the main contenders over these next couple of fights. So you can get used to who's out there. And we already know, Ngannou is one of the top guys. One of the co-main events on the card with Stipe is Junior Dos Santos versus Jarazin Ruskanek. I can't pronounce his name.
Dos Santos is another big player, right? But he's also lost a couple big fights.
And Ruskanek is 10-1. So it's going to be interesting to see. and all of them are heavyweight fights. All of them are going to be showing up in the next 2 weeks. So, we're going to go really in-depth with this heavyweight division. We covered it some in this one. Definitely in the next time that we go, as we get you ready for UFC 252, we're going to go in-depth with this heavyweight division. We're going to talk more about these guys that are setting up for the co-main and the main events in the next pay-per-view, which we know is going to be a legendary fight as the third part of the trilogy. I'm excited to hear what the Vegas Snake Eyes has on this because, he's been hitting on some of these bets, and we post them there for you guys to see. And we're going to have a nice parlay coming out on Saturday for you.
Sure.
It'll be a low risk, high reward bet like we like to run.
Check out our Instagram on that. We're gonna post some of our bets on William Hill. Not big, heavy hitting bets from us specifically. We're gonna try and have Andrew on, another big sports bettor. And
but the main focus of the bets that we're posting here for you are low risk, high rewards. You're not going to break the bank, but if you want to put a little money down, here's a good little way to go that you might be able to get a good return on your investment, have a little fun, and just make the fight a little more interesting because everyone knows it's a lot better when you have some skin in the game. You have a reason, a rooting interest. You have someone to go for. And, I'm excited. I'm hyped. I'm ready to go. Vegas Snake Eyes, what do you got for the fans as we head out here? What's your sign?
I mean, that's all I got. Listen, at the end of the day, keep checking us out for the fight nights. We're always going to give you guys now some more earlier coverage on fight night. It's going to give you guys a little bit more of a strategic background of what's going on with maybe the main and co-main. A lot of times we'll try to cover the undercard, but we're really going to start doing more predictions on every fight that we know we've seen at least one or two fights of. Even though we did really well on some of the predictions from before, I believe we went 5-1 on one of the cards. On the last fight before this, Shabazz and Brunson, we hit on a $250 parlay ticket on a $2 ticket because we really had the co-main and the main. We hit on that. We hit on the over and the unders. So guys, when I tell you we have a lot of strategic influence about some of these picks, it's based off of the experience of watching the sport and the fight game for a long time. Does it mean we're going to hit every time? No, absolutely not. The books would close the doors, right? But we're just going to give you guys at least what your best chances are, where we like the odds, and what we think that where we think the needle is moving, as Dana White would say, a needle mover, right? We think some of these picks are going to be some needle movers. So like, share, subscribe. We definitely appreciate the YouTube love too. We definitely need some help there because a lot of our views come from not subscribed people. So we really appreciate you guys going in there, watching the video, but definitely subscribing.
Sure. And again, we just want to bring you value. We want to show you what or bring the information of what these fighters have done in their career, what we see them doing going forward, and just trying to positioning it in a way that, presents an opportunity that, you can't miss on or that you can't not take. Because like Dave said, he just hit on a $250 ticket. He's in it. He lives out there in Vegas. That's why he's called the Vegas Snake Eyes. He has some heavy influencing betting friends that bet very heavy in these bets. So he knows and he's seen it. He's seen the wins. He's lived the wins. He's had the losses. He's lived the losses. And he tells you, hey, why waste your money when you can come and get this free advice and then waste your money?
Exactly, guys. Exactly. All right, guys.
And we'll catch you next time.